everybody, my name is Kumar. Today I would like to create a small video on the batting setup. What batting setup is? Batting setup means the way you're going to stand in the crease, the way you're going to hold your bat, the way your backlift is going to be. So it includes your grip, your stance, and your backlift. So grip is something wherein it's really important to know how to hold the bat. So the bat, if you'll see, I got a bat here. This area, the center part of the area which connects your handle and the frame, this area is called the splice. So these concepts should be taught or told to the students while teaching them. So when you're talking about the grip, the bottom hand and the top hand plays a really important role. Bottom hand means which you're going to hold near to that base, like at the bottom of the bat, right? Top hand means you're going to hold the bat somewhere here at the top of the handle, right? So for left-handers, it actually goes the opposite way, but the terminology remains the same: top hand, the bottom hand. So when we talk about the grip, as I said, this is the splice. This is the outer edge for the right-hand batsman, right? You'll see this is the outer edge. So how you're going to determine how to hold a proper grip? There's something called V technique, right? This is V. You'll see it actually creates a V, the index finger and the thumb. This area is a V. So many coaches, many trainers have developed or taught or presented a video which talks about the same thing, but I'm creating this video for my students so they can understand a little more better. So how are you going to hold the bat? You're going to create this V. You're going to keep your thumb on the splice. So this is going to be for the top hand, on the splice, and you're going to hold the outer edge like this. So if you'll see, I got a V here, right? I'm holding the splice with my thumb and I'm holding the outer edge of the bat. I'm going to just drag this area down here and I'm going to hold it somewhere in the middle. So this becomes my V here for the top hand. So the splice and the outer edge, the middle portion is the V that you're going to create for the top hand. Similarly, you will take the right hand, create the same V pattern. You're going to keep the V on top of the splice this time. So if you'll see the V that I've created is on the top of the slice, I'm going to drag it straight down here and I'm going to hold it. If you'll see, that's also a V created there. So this becomes my batting grip. Top hand needs to be a little firmer because that's actually going to give you the guidance and the support, and it gives you the control to play the shots. Bottom hand actually gives you the power. Now there's also a small technique which you need to understand. When you're going to going to hold the bottom hand, it should not be like a firm complete grip. It should be like a pen grip. The fingers, the thumb is actually going to hold the bat like this. The fingers are going to hold the bat like this. So it's going to be something like a pen. You're holding like a pen or a pencil grip, right? So and the top hand is going to be firm. So it's really important. First thing, top hand like a V from the outer edge and the middle portion, and for the bottom hand, similar manner. Just make sure you create the V in the center like that. So what you can do is you can create small markers here so that students can understand, or a student can create these small markers there so that they can actually follow the same pattern every time. So this is something which actually needs to be practiced and followed to remember or to memorize while playing cricket. So this is something for the grip. Once we cover the grip, there comes the stance. How you're going to stand inside the crease. I'm going to cover that next. So stance is also really important. Stance is something that you stand in the crease. Like we have been taught by our coaches in the childhood that it should be parallel or equal to the shoulder. You need to make sure you're standing shoulder width apart. But I would say the concept is slightly changed I would recommend my students to follow the pattern of increasing just 1 foot next to the shoulder or above, aside the shoulder this side. So increase the feet like this. Just make sure it's wider a little bit wider than your shoulder. Okay. What it does, it actually gives you a good balance to move around. It gives you good balance. So this is the proper stance in modern cricket. There are people who actually stand with shoulder width apart. That's also fine. It's totally up to you guys. It's about the comfort. Okay, but what I would like to say is, I would like to teach my students is just increase the width of the stance a little bit more than your shoulders. That will give you a better balance to maneuver yourself, to move here and there. Now, make sure both the toes are aligned. Again, it's about the comfort. There are people who actually stand like this with an open toe. There are people who stand with the parallel toe, equal toe length. So it is again totally up to you guys how you want to stand. It's totally up to the comfort that you guys want to feel while playing the cricket. At the end, we all need to play that ball which is coming towards you. So that's really important to score runs, right? So this is a small terminology, the stance that you need to follow while trying to play the cricket, right? Trying to actually stand on the trees. Make sure you have a good stand, a solid base. You need to make sure the feet are balanced. So it should be with a proper balance. You need to make sure both the feet are properly grounded with a proper balanced base, because that's how your foundation is created. That's how the foundation is created to play a good shot, right? So if your feet are not balanced, you tend to fall here and there. So if you're standing on your heels, you will not be able to go onto the front foot. You're going to fall behind. If you're going to stand on your toes, your head is falling again. So that's the reason it's really important to stand in a better base. Now, while standing, you need to understand that you need to flex your feet a little bit. The knees should be flexed. You're not going to stand straight. You're going to stand straight, the head is falling. The knees should be flexed so that it gives you a proper structure and your head is not falling. It's straight. As I said earlier, your head should be still, your eyes should be in level, your shoulders should be aligned towards the bowler or towards the other side of the wicket, towards the umpire or towards the other side of the wicket, or you can call anything. Your elbow should be pointed, right? Your head should not fall. These are all small basic things that needs to be remembered and memorized. You need to practice this in front of the mirror. You can do it at home. Just make sure you're memorizing it. This is something which you need to remember every time. Now, once the stance is done, there comes a backlift. What is backlift? Backlift means the way you're going to lift your bat. Okay? You might have seen Smith actually holding the bat like this, right? Bairstow holds the bat like this. So these are backlifts. So you need to understand, do we really need a backlift? Yes. For modern cricket, we need a good backlift because that generates the power to play the shot. So if you're keeping a backlift down here, you need to actually you need to generate that backlift once the bowler is going to bowl. So to avoid that, while standing on the stance itself, you need to make sure a good backlift is there, right? So that the power is already available or ready to play that shot, that ball with a beautiful, powerful drive or that can help you score runs, right? So with a good backlift, the power will be generated by playing the shots. So what is the technology again? What's the terminology? Terminology says that the backlift should be on top of the middle stump, top of the off stump, or outside the off stump towards the first leg. It depends again. It totally depends upon you, how you want to get that backlift position, right? So It's all about playing that ball straight as much as possible. Now, in this backlift, what I would recommend is, I would suggest to make sure when you're holding the bat, when you're standing like this, just make sure the back of the bat is closer to the shoulder, right shoulder. Okay, similarly for the left-handers, the back of the bat should be closer to their left shoulder. So the concept remains the same for left hand, right hand, right? So now, for example, this should be the backlift, outside of stump, closer to my shoulder. Here my head is in level, eyes are in level, head is in position, shoulder line, and I'm ready to play the drive. Okay, so these are small things that you need to remember. Memorize it. The more you practice, the more efficient you're going to become. And the practice for top hand, as I said, top hand actually gives you the control to play. So you need to make sure you're cocking your top hand. It should not be like this. It should be like this. And the bottom hand gives you a grip. So it actually gives you a strong posture. You'll see that I'm holding the bat with my top hand with a proper backlift, and a good position is created. I'm ready to play the ball now. So this is how you're going to hold your bat. Top hand firm, elbow pointed. Small things to remember. Batting grip is important. You need to create those V's. Then the stance, flex your knees, make sure your head is not falling. You need to align yourself. Shoulder should be aligned towards the other side. Elbow pointed. These are small things that needs to be remembered. Backlift, make sure your bat is actually near to the shoulder, bottom hand shoulder. Similarly for the left hand, bottom hand shoulder again. The bat should come from top of the off stump or outside off stump or from the first lip. It totally depends upon you. It's up to your comfort. At the end, as I said, we need to play those balls which are coming in, right? So this is the basic setup, which includes your grip, your stance, and your backlift. So memorize it. The more you practice this in front of your mirror, the more you're going to remember this. So please do this, and all the best. Bye.